Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video where you have to watch my ugly face. No, just joking. So in this video, we are finally going to take a look at the results of the 2026 survey. So I finally went through all the feedbacks. There's been a lot, so it took some time, but we are ready. So, first, thank you to everyone who voted. Your feedback is very helpful. Again, a lot of the stuff we gathered in the survey was super helpful. Thank you to all 156 people who filled out the survey. And yeah, without further ado, let's get to it. So first was the question, how did you discover KKB, which didn't change too much since the last time we did a survey, so we did it in 2024. So basically, in 2024, a lot of people found our website from Google News. This time, no one filled it out, which makes sense because back then I remember sometimes I saw KKB on Google News. I don't see it anymore there. So I think they changed the algorithm. But now people are coming from Discord and YouTube, which is actually interesting. So about the YouTube we will go through later, but there are a lot of people who discovered us through the guides on YouTube, which is very interesting. I've never expected that to be happening. And then of course Discord. So mostly people are coming from Beyond the Gate Discord server. Now this was really interesting when compared to the previous survey. So this time a lot of people, they found us in 2025, which when I looked at the old survey from 24, a lot of people fill out 2020. So it's interesting to see that a lot of the audience that we now have, they know us since the last year. So I don't know if many of original viewers left or they moved on from SciADV, but it's interesting that most of our audience, they discovered KKB either last year or the year before. So there is not that many original people, which is really interesting. The next, this is always the most interesting stuff. So which content most interests you on KKB? Which of course news. Mostly people go to our website because of news. And then 102 people fill out the in-depth analysis of SciADV topics and development. This was the most voted thing in the 2024 survey as well. And I'm glad that we are now able to provide some of those things through Bassman's videos, which is very helpful. And of course interviews, 62 people want to see interviews, which they are rare on KKB, but hopefully we will be able to provide some more. SciADV themed cooking is the lowest thing, which that makes sense. That's a very, very experimental series of videos. Which content would you like to see more of on KKB? So this, I believe in 2024 survey, it was basically the same, but the in-depth analysis of SciADV topics got more votes than anything else. Back in 2024, we didn't provide any of this. So now it makes sense that the number is lower because, again, as I said, we now have Bassman who does these things. And then the Japanese interview translations, they moved up, which, yeah, this is something that we would love to do, but there is not really a time or the Japanese expertise. But it's definitely something that we want to do. And yeah, of course, news is the third most expected content, most liked content. And then fan art is the fourth, which, yeah, I think we talked about it in a Patreon article somewhere. That, yeah, fan art is cool, doing content on fan art, but it's difficult to do because you have to actively collect it. And when we did the series back 8 years ago about fan content, I remember Fasti got burnt out after doing it for a year because he said it was difficult for him to find the content. So yeah, this fan art stuff is cool, but it's not really impossible. Seventh question, do you prefer visual novel with English or Japanese voice acting? So actually here I'm surprised that only 6 people picked English. Because after the anonymous code, for me, I would prefer in English. Just because it made everything so simple. I could just watch, the game to be played by itself. I could put it on auto and just watch it. So, but I kinda guessed that I'm a minority. So this is interesting to see that a lot of people prefer Japanese. And then, yeah, it's good that people are okay with both, because that's where I fall in, I think, now. I don't really care if it has English or Japanese voice acting. I'm fine with either one. I will have to read it anyway. Question 8. Do you read or follow our non-SciADV-related news? 90 people said yes, which is good, because I think we are heading more into providing non-SciADV-related content. So it's cool to see that people are actually interested in it. Question 10. What other Japanese game developers do you follow, aside from Mages and Spike Chunsoft? So here, no surprises really. 82 people said Nintendo, which is something that we will not be covering. Yeah, we won't be doing Nintendo games unless they do some like interesting stuff. But yeah, we won't do like Mario, Pokemon, anything like that. Then the next second is Square Enix, I believe, is 64 people. Yeah, so with Square Enix, I think that's mostly just Final Fantasy fans, which again, I don't think we will be doing, because I believe they now mostly do. So what's the MMO one? Is it Final Fantasy 14, I believe? And then yeah, the remakes. I only played Final Fantasy 15 and 7 and its remakes, so I don't know that much. And then Sega. So I have no idea what Sega does nowadays. Let's see, is it maybe the Yakuza games? Yeah, they do a bunch of stuff, so they still do some Sonic games. And yeah, mostly Yakuza. Oh, and Persona 5. They published Persona 5. I had no idea about it. But someone suggested in others Atlus games, so we have it separately. Okay, so it's mostly Yakuza and Persona stuff. That's interesting. Yeah, so the Persona stuff, that's something that we could eventually do, but I only played the 5th one. I don't have like many more knowledge about the series other than that, and then I've never played Yakuza, so I have no idea. So that was Sega. And then was it Type Moon was next? With 57? No, it was Capcom. So they do, yeah, Resident Evil, Street Fighter, Devil May Cry. Yep. So again, nothing really that I think KKB would be able to do news on, but you know, it's interesting to see where the fan base, like what are the interests of the fan base. And then with 57, yeah, then with 57 it was Type Moon, which is something we already dabbled a bit in, and like we won't do Fate Grand Order, that's just a mess. But we could do if they do some like more visual novels. They recently just did remakes of almost everything, like Tsukihime, Fate Stay Night, and Fate Hollow Ataraxia. So yeah, if they do more stuff like that, we might actually like cover it, because there is an overlap, and I think a lot of SciADV fans would enjoy it. But again, we will see. And then so that was with 57, and then it gets pretty granular. So we have From Software with 48, which yeah, we won't do like Dark Souls stuff. And then Kojima Productions, that might be interesting, but again, I don't think we have the capacity to do that. And yeah, then for the others, so actually a really cool suggestion there was that people are interested in indie titles, which is actually a good idea. Because I think where Kirikiri is great is showing niche titles to a wider audience. So actually talking about like indie visual novels, that could be a really cool series, which I have no idea what indie titles, like what indie visual novels there are, but it's something that we will investigate, because I think that's a cool idea. So yeah, then on to question 11. Do you want to see more coverage of other non-Mages developed visual novels? For example, Type Moon, K, etc. So K, they do Clanat, I believe. And 86 people said yes. So yeah, if we branch out of SciADV, I think we will stay with visual novels, because I love the format, even though it's like dying medium essentially. I absolutely love it, and I would love to get more people into them. 12. Would you like there to be a comment section under each article? So 54% said yes, and 31% said no opinion. So yeah, the comment section, it will happen. I don't know when. We need to like figure some stuff out, but I think in a few months. I think like before August, before Steins Gate reboot releases, we should be able to get it running. We just need to figure out how it looks, how it works basically, and also how we moderate it or who moderates it. But yeah, this will happen. This is like work in progress at the moment, and we will share more details once we have it ready. Question 13. How would you feel about KKB Basra including ads on the website to support its operating cost? So this question is a whole can of worms, and it's a difficult question. And I'm happy that most of the people said they are okay with the ads, if they are non-intrusive. Because yeah, I don't know about future of Patreon. It's a difficult topic to talk about. But yeah, I think at some point we will have to run ads. If that happens, we will just close Patreon and we will not ask anymore for any money. But at the moment, we are at the point where all the money goes into Patreon and then we have to add some more extra from our pockets. And it depends on the month and the part of the year, but sometimes it gets really rough. So again, this is not something that we will do like tomorrow. It's something that we will do like in a few years. Maybe we will figure out a way on how to do, like if you pay for like subscription on the website, there are no ads or something. But yeah, this is not even like work in progress. This is like, looking, 5 years into a future of KKB. I'm glad that most of the people are okay with it. And yeah, if we ever do ads, they will be non-intrusive. Unless like someone kills me and takes over the website, the ads will be non-intrusive. There will be like no pop-ups, no like that, like what most gaming news do, they like play a video in a corner or something. We will never do that. If we do ads, there will be like 1 or 2 on each article, maybe like on top, bottom, or maybe on the sides. That will be it, nothing crazy. We will never do like ads in the article itself. Like there will never be a paragraph, then ad, and then another paragraph. Again, if there are ads, they will be at the start of the article or after the end of the article, or they will be on the sides, which there is a lot of free space on the sides. As long as I am, the owner of the website and handling all the design, they will be non-intrusive. Question 14. Would you like to see coverage at anime or gaming conventions, for example Anime Expo and Tokyo Game Show? So majority said yes, and then others said no opinion. And yeah, this is something that almost happened. So I was supposed to go to Tokyo Game Show in September last year, but I couldn't go because of some medical issues. I couldn't leave for Tokyo. So we are still working on that. We are even working on Anime Expo, because like we have people everywhere now. We are working on some conventions. I cannot really say more details because like this is work in progress, and I don't know what will happen with it, but it will happen at some point and at some convention. Question 17. Do you have any other feedback you would like to share regarding KKB and its content? This was actually a really cool question, because a lot of people fill out really useful stuff. And again, like people could fill out anything they want. So, and I think I have more on the second page. Yes, I do. So, Anonymous thought it would be great if the YouTube channel's videos had the style and quality of high-end video essays like Bassman Reviews do on his channel. The videos should feel like an extension to the articles rather than just a direct adaptation, making them more engaging and appealing to viewers. This is actually a really cool suggestion, and I had no idea that Bassman's articles are different. I thought he does the video and then he copies it for the article version, because I only watch his videos, I don't read his articles. So after that I went back and read actually the articles and saw that there are differences. So this is a cool suggestion, and I don't think we are able to do high-end like video essays at the moment on the KKB YouTube channel, because I'm pretty terrible with these like deep dive stuff, and I also don't want to steal like some of the Bassman views. So I think at the moment we will just keep it on his channel. But yeah, this is a really cool suggestion. Then, a lot of content recently has felt hollow and without passion. I'd love some more energetic and passion-filled coverage of what's important to the people running this page, whether it's SciADV, like I prefer, or otherwise. This is an interesting comment. and I don't really get it. The recent content, I think they mean the Tokyo stuff, which again, like, it was not for everyone. A lot of people hated it, and they thought it, stolen a lot of the, that, we worked on the Tokyo project, and because of that, we had to not do another stuff, if that makes sense. The Tokyo project was made because of our passion for the series. So, yeah, I don't know really what they mean in it, but I understand why a lot of people didn't like the Tokyo project stuff, because it was very different, and many people don't really care about the locations. So, yeah. Then this next feedback, it ties up to this second feedback. So the BuzzFeed type stuff where you guys go like, hey, did you know Tokyo is real, is really annoying. I get there is no news for this series anymore, but I know you can come up with better filler articles than We Drink Skull. Yeah, this is very valid criticism, and a lot of people feel like that. On the other hand, for example, this video about Skull, it is like the second or third most popular video we have on the YouTube channel. So, and also like it was very simple to make. It took like 5 minutes to film and then like 20 minutes to edit. So, like if we are doing stuff like that, it's not replacing any other stuff. It's just an extra that we felt could be interesting to people. So yeah, I absolutely understand this, and a lot of people feel the same. Like they felt that the Tokyo project was just a distraction from the rest of the SciADV stuff. But we also positioned it for releases in January and February, because that's usually when there are no SciADV news. And you can check our website, like go like a year ago in January, February, there were no like news, and there was nothing really happening. So if the Tokyo project wasn't made, there would be nothing on the website. We didn't have any other plans for January. But yeah, this is very valid feedback. So now this seventh feedback. I want a portal for all SciADV side material and lore players miss out on, and stuff that more openly explains stuff required for AC beforehand metaplot. Players miss out on it, and I think it's because the side material isn't accessible to them. So this is great suggestion, but it's not something that is in scope for KKB. So we are mainly news website, and recently I found out there is this SciADV wiki page, which I have to ask like some of the team members like who is behind it and what's the purpose of it. But it seems that that's supposed to do what this person wants, and yeah, I agree that actually it's a cool idea to have like a hub for all the, basically for everything, for the lore, which at the moment there is not. But yeah, that's something that KKB we will never do. We are just like we are just a news website, and we are a hub for like newcomers. So we are basically onboarding people into the series, but we don't go more deep than that. And the explanation stuff, about lore, we leave that to Bassman. So yeah, that's about it. Then the 12th feedback. Perhaps you could have text alignment be justified so each line fills the full width of the text box, so it's a little easier on the eyes. We are investigating that still. I'm consulting this with Fasti. We will see. I did some tests and it looked horrible with the fonts and everything we use at the moment, so I don't know. I have no answer for this at the moment, but it's something we are looking into. Some entries on list of titles are outdated. Anonymous Code's entry reads as though it has not yet been released in Japan. Steins Gate Reboot's entry still lists the release year as 2025. Thank you for the guides. We already fixed that. So I sent this to Fasti like a few weeks ago, and he fixed the whole page. There was a lot of old stuff. So this is fixed. So thank you for this suggestion, and yeah, I'm glad you like the guides. That's good. 24. I like the variety of content. Thanks for everything. You are welcome. I'm glad that you like the variety of content. We now have almost everything. We have cooking videos, travel videos, we have deep dives into SciADV topics, we have reviews, guides, we have everything. So this is good to hear. 26. Please try to declutter the website so SciADV isn't mixed with other content. SciADV is my main focus, but the website feels drifting away. Yeah, that's also a valid point. We are drifting away, but SciADV is still our main focus. And now I'm thinking what they could mean by decluttering the website. Because like lately, since January, there wasn't almost any non-SciADV stuff. We did the Fate Stay Night bridge, and then like 1 or 2 articles about Memories of, I believe. But that's it, so I don't really know what they mean. But I understand that the non-SciADV stuff should be separate. Maybe they mean the Tokyo project, because again, a lot of people felt that the Tokyo project was not really part of our SciADV coverage, even though it was literally about the real-life locations. And then the last feedback in this question was, well, I do like the site branching out to other similar games. Yes, so SciADV will always be our focus. We are just looking into branching out into some similar titles, visual novels to share with you. So yeah, moving to the next part of the survey. So we had questions about YouTube. 21. What types of videos do you like most on our YouTube channel? So this is interesting because most of the people said they like in-depth analysis of SciADV topics and lore, which is very interesting because those videos are the lowest performing on the channel. Like that Kojima video, and let me actually double check that. It has like 200 views or something. It's very low compared to our other content. Yeah, so the Hideo Kojima video that has 195 views. And then what other in-depth stuff we did? I think we did the stickers from Chaos Child, right? Yeah, that has 125 views. And then there was the Tanegashima Airport article. And that has 136 views. So these in-depth analysis, they perform badly, but also it could be because like what we covered on KKB is very different from what I think most of the people want. And again, that's what Bassman does. So I suck at these like lore videos and lore articles. So I don't think I will ever do that, and I don't think we will ever do that on the KKB channel unless we get someone else to take over the channel. But at this moment, Bassman will do all of this in-depth analysis of topics and lore. And then what was next? So real-life SciADV locations. I'm glad that 70 people chose that, so I know that all my work on that wasn't in vain. Then news. It's difficult to do news on YouTube because those videos will get super short and they are randomly published. YouTube prefers longer videos that have like a schedule. But what we do now, we actually publish all our news as YouTube shorts, and we are just watching how that holds up. And if there's like a major news like Steins Gate reboot, we do videos for that, like separate videos. But if it's like some random Steins Gate collaboration, we will just do a YouTube short and that's it. And it does moderately well, so. Then what's next? Then reviews, I believe, with 51. Yeah, so reviews, I think we have only one review at the moment, but we will do more as time progresses. And then people don't watch KKB's videos, that's fine. And then yeah, guides and SciADV cooking. Again, SciADV cooking is experimental series. It's difficult to make because there is only so much you can cook from SciADV. And then guides, there is another question about guides, so we will talk about it more later. Question 26, whose voiceover do you like more? So, a lot of people said Bassman, which is okay, but I'm happy that people don't have a preference. So, as I said before, I speak very fast in English. English is not my first language, so I'm also dealing with Czech accent, which I think Czech accent is the worst accent in the world. I can recognize a Czech person speaking English in like, I can like 100% recognize the accent because it's very specific. It's not like your typical like Eastern European accent or like German accent. It's like, it's in a league of its own. So I'm fighting with that. So I'm happy that people actually don't care and are fine with my crappy accent. And I am surprised that actually 5 people prefer my voice over Bassman's, because I think Bassman is doing a great job. He has that, typical like YouTuber voice, which is perfect for YouTube. I'm happy that people are okay with both of us, because Bassman, he will do some of the KKB's videos as well. Mostly the higher profile ones, so he did like half of the real life locations, because at that point I was having issues with my mic. So he voiced the rest of it and I absolutely loved his work on that. We will be like interchanging on voicing videos. Question 27. Do you prefer to hear background music in videos with a voiceover? this is something I was very curious about, because I don't like background music in, just like videos with voiceover where a person is speaking. For me it's very distracting, but I always thought that I'm a minority, and this survey actually confirms that for me, so people like the music. I should have asked like what music do they prefer, because I don't know if we should be playing the SciADV games music. For example, for Tokyo Project we licensed all of the music, so I don't know. So I guess let me know in the comments if you prefer, having SciADV songs or having just like random licensed music playing. But yeah, like majority of people, you want music, so we will keep that. And so now, I think this was the last section of the survey, yeah, design. So, question 38, are you satisfied with the overall design and presentation of KKB? A vast majority said yes. Thank you for that. I spent a lot of time designing it and making it as easy, to understand and see. So I'm very happy that 96% of you are happy with that. And question 39, do you like the new homepage design? And then 71% said yes. So thank you for that. There was a lot of work on remaking the design this year, and it's still like sort of work in progress, but the majority of the work is done, and I'm happy that mostly you are satisfied with that, because it took a lot of work, but it improved the website immensely. It not only like presentation, but also like what's running in the background. It's now more optimized, the website is faster, and it's noticeable. Thank you for the support, and I appreciate that you like the new design. Question 40. Are you satisfied with the design and presentation of the mobile version of KKB? And this is interesting, because 49% said they don't use the mobile version, but when I look at Google Analytics, the majority of our visitors use the mobile version. So yeah, this is an interesting answer, but mostly people are satisfied with the mobile version, and I'm also. I think the work we did in the last few months on it is amazing, because we had so many issues. Like since the start of KKB, the mobile version was my main nemesis, because I don't use it, but I have to design for it, because that's like the most used platform nowadays for websites, and it's difficult to make. It's so difficult to optimize for phones when you are working on a design that looks good on the desktop. And this was the last section, very last section. So there are 2 questions, like, just do you have any suggestions? Fill them out. I have 2 pages for that as well. So do you have any feedback to share on the quality of our news, article reviews, or other coverage? The first answer was actually quite funny. So uninspired, boring, worded like a college essay. And at first I was like, what is he talking about? But then I don't know if it was another feedback here or someone messaged me that, but a lot of people feel that our articles, and especially YouTube videos, they are like, worded like a college essay, which for some articles and videos makes sense, but for some doesn't. And that will also explain why the simple stuff is the most popular on like YouTube. For example, that skull video, there was no script, it was just me talking out of my mind, and it got like 500 views. But when we do like, essays with scripts and stuff, it gets like 100 views. So on the YouTube, I'm now trying to actively make the scripts like more personal and like have it more character in them than just being like simple, essay like thing. And then with articles, it depends. Like if it's a news article, then of course it will be worded like an essay, because we are trying to be professional in that case. But if it's like a review, we could put more character in it and be like less wordy. Because I think it was, if you go down, there is a feedback saying sometimes the writing is verbose, which I agree with that. And sometimes there's just a lot of difficult words. And we could simplify it a bit for some of the content that we do, especially for YouTube videos. So this was in the end actually very helpful feedback. So second feedback was nice content, thank you. All design were better in terms of information clarity. New design is spiking my receptors way too much, to the point I'm not even sure what I'm looking at. I understand that. Actually some other people told me to that as well, and we are actually investigating that, how to improve it. But at the moment I don't have anything more on that to say. But I appreciated this feedback a lot. It helps, looking at the website from a different point of view. So for feedback was thanks. You're welcome. Maybe you can have text alignment justify. I think we talked about that before. It was mentioned somewhere else. So I'm waiting on Fasti on that. I don't know. I don't have answer for that. And then the new homepage is maybe just a little bit busy visually with the latest sticker right up front, but I understand its utility. Yes, I 100% agree with that. It's a little bit busy visually, but people actually use it. So we have a Microsoft Clarity service set up on the website. So we see like where people are clicking, you know, how they, you know, access the website, how they scroll on the website, what they are clicking and stuff. And actually these 3 buttons on the website with news, the original content and reviews, that's the most, those 3 buttons are the most clicked on the website. So people really use it. But it's very useful to have it there. People use it because they don't really care about latest articles. They might not care about latest articles if the articles are, you know, for example, 6 articles about Tokyo, like we had in January. They might just be interested into news. So this was a good feedback that was brought to me in January when we were just publishing the Tokyo stuff, where the latest news, they got actually pushed, you know, below those 6 articles on the homepage. And they were pushed and they could not be seen anymore, and it was just, you know, a lot of Tokyo stuff, which not everyone is interested in. So this solved that issue, that if you load the page now, the first thing you see are the 4 latest articles. 100% I understand this feedback, it's something that I share, but there is a good utility in that. It's very useful. So then it's the verbose writing, which, yeah, that's something that we are actively looking into it. Not really quality per se, but one of the things that most interests me about your reviews is feedback on translation localization work. Knowing if a good job was done with the log or not is pretty important to me when deciding a purchase. This is great feedback. And actually, when we did robotics notes review, there was a whole section about localization. And I think in the future, we will just do a separate article on that, because a lot of people actually were interested just into the quality of the localization, not entirely about the whole review. So we will see how it's looking for Steins Gate reboot, but I think there will be like a normal review, which will mention some of the localization stuff, and then there will be like a deep dive, like very deep dive like we did with robotics notes. But yeah, this is great feedback, and it's something that we are aware, and we will probably change in the future. We will have like 2 reviews basically. And then last 2 feedback, so great job overall. And then the last one, it feels too mixed, cluttered. That's, yeah. So the homepage, if you scroll down in the homepage, it gets a bit cluttered. And I'm also working on that, to fixing that based on the clarity data which we are getting. And then the last question, do you have any final feedback or suggestions for us? So let's see, I don't visit the website a ton, but I like the concept. I think it should go out. Being just SciADV oriented, entire vision over Spotlight really likes a website like this. I 100% agree. I think websites like VNDB are great, but it's not like really a news website, like easily accessible. So that's where I think we can position KKB in the future. Then the second suggestion, if possible, seeing some interviews with SciADV devs would be interesting, especially Ueji Umehara, the writer of Chaos Child, since he's kind of an elusive figure who hasn't worked on much in general. Yes, so we have a relationship with Mages through Spike Chunsoft, so we are able to pull SciADV devs for interviews. It's just usually when there is a game being made, like we cannot do it just like out of the blue. And I think all we did was just Tatsuya Matsubara, or we did Yui Namba, I believe, for Anonymous Code. A lot of people would like more dev interviews, so we will try our best. It's not always easy to do. It has to be tied to a release, but we will for sure try it. So thank you for this feedback. Then Anonymous said Storm and Surge, Blast of Spirit, Gun, Varel, Jackin. Yes, I love this robotics notes quote. I want people to know the meta plot of the games better. Yeah, we all do, and it's difficult to do. And it's not something that KKB will do, because we are a news website firstly, and we leave this to people like Bassman. Visual novel info, I don't know what that means. You are doing great, thank you. I'm curious about the real life vocation series, but have not yet played through all games, so I have delayed watching it until I do. That's good, because those videos, they have spoilers in them, so please finish playing them before going to the video series. Less biased towards Committee of Zero. I'm not entirely sure what they mean, because we don't really cover Committee of Zero stuff, because it's a difficult topic, but basically we just cover the news from the developers and with the releases, and we don't do the community stuff. That would be the then what we have. Follow your heart. I will. More SciADV news, interviews, and info general. We are working on that. Not especially, like I said earlier, I'm pretty happy with where the site is right now. Thank you. More content along the lines of what I picked earlier would be nice. Sure. And then next, on the right side, please make Telegram channel where you post articles, news. We will never do that. We already did this with Vkontakte. It went well until some things happened and we had to delete everything. So yeah, all our articles will be always on the website, and then we are posting on Twitter, Blue Sky, Discord, and where else, and YouTube. It depends with the YouTube, but everything is on Twitter, Blue Sky, and Discord. Don't take critics too hard, as I still visit your website from time to time because you have great content. Thank you, I appreciate this. And yeah, we don't have really like bad criticism. Everything, like all the criticism we received, is like constructive, and it's actually like good ideas that people bring us and good feedbacks. So yeah, if you have some criticism of KKB, let us know, because it's been very helpful in the past. And then lastly, more frequent updates on patches and translations of visual novels. So in this case, we could only do the official stuff. As I mentioned with Committee of Zero, we don't cover the fan-made stuff for various reasons. So yeah, on that I don't think we can like do more, unless the patches are done by the official studio, which actually, if there are like patch notes coming from a studio that made the game, this could be something we could do. But we will not do the fan stuff, so we will not do like Committee of Zero stuff, unfortunately. And that's it. That's all. That's the whole 2026 survey. So thank you everyone who filled out the survey, and special thanks to our patrons. Thank you to RC, Sebastian, Enorovan, Coxin, Japanese name, Alice, Aliceness, Passman, Ben Morrison, Blauherz, Brett Martin, Brian Atto, Bryce N, Filko, Henry Wittkanien, Jeremy Rasmussen, Jura, Mario Mendes, Matthew Palmieri, Midget Asian, Original P, Revert, Redost, Road as Heck, Sam Salutin, Snowbuster, SS23, The Gunner Kid, Time Wasterian #1, Ven, Flasia, Wakama, Will Kennedy, Javi Sanchez, and Secreter. So thank you guys for supporting us on Patreon. You are basically making the website free for everyone and making us, continue this journey. And yeah, thanks to everyone for watching this video. I hope you like this behind the scenes look. And the survey, it's always very helpful. We got a really good feedback. We know some stuff on what to improve and what we are doing good. So thank you for watching this video. It's been a very long one. I think it's the recording is over an hour now, which is amazing. So yeah, thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Bye!